Hello, people. Hello, people. Emergency, emergency. This thing is starting to trend, and I figured I'd grab one of the guys. We'd get on here, talk about it a little bit. I know there might not be many people in the room live, and you may not be live at all. But when you catch this later, you're gonna be like, "Dang it! I wish I was live." So we have leaked audio of House Republicans that were talking about House Democrats that had to do with this Tennessee issue of the expulsion of the two Negroes that were there, Mr. Fro and Mr. Slick. Um, and what they have to say is alarming. Okay, what these racist white people have to say is alarming. If you can sense the sarcasm, I think you know. But I want your thoughts on stuff, so we're gonna play it, react a little bit, replay it, and we'll act a little bit. It's about a 9 minute long thing, but when you hear it, when you hear it, all right. So I'm gonna add it here so y'all can see it.
I think now more than ever, everyone should recognize that Democrats are not our friends. I listened for the last 3 days to Democrats, Sam McKenzie, Chisholm, Parkinson, trash us as racists. I've never had anybody call me a racist. And for the last 3 days, all I have heard from them is how this is the most racist place. One of them is white supremacy. Good Lord, we have to realize they are not our friends. They can smile, man, that doesn't mean I can't be polite to them, but they are not our friends. They destroy the republic and the foundation of who we are, or we preserve it. That is the reality where we are right now. And if these last 3 days have not proven that, we need to find a new job. There's never been a more important time for us to be unified. There's 75 of us. Let them call their name, of the names they're going to call. Then we need to move forward. We need to pass the gun bill. We need to pass the pronoun bill, wherever Mark is. Man, we do not slow down because of their trash. We can't. The only way we move forward with some sort of unity is to call out what happened on the House floor the other night. Yes, I feel like we were hung out to dry by a couple of members. And Jody, I'm just going to say it here because you signed the letter. You straight up came to me and said you were 100% where I was. And you went on the House floor and you did the opposite. Man, you hung us out to dry. And I like you personally. This is not personal. And if Brian Terry was here, I'd say the same thing to him. This would have been bad anyway, but good God, we brought the racism into it because you didn't stay with us. But I need to know, and I don't want to hear why there wasn't a preponderance of evidence and attorneys. I need to know why you flipped your vote at the last minute. You didn't let them know beforehand. Giving Johnny a 15-minute heads up doesn't cut it. And if Brian Terry was here, I want to hear from him too. I have to know.
We're going to kick the staff out. This is the place to say. I haven't lied to anybody, not one time. And it pisses me off to suggest that I have. And some of my friends in here suggested that I lied. And that's bullcrap. I walked into that room to vote to expel all three of them, just like all y'all. And the letter that I sent to the speaker, it says exactly what it says. Throw the book at it. Everything you've got. It doesn't say expulsion. It's not in there. But doesn't matter. I was ready. But hold on. I was ready. I was walking into that room ready to go. Before we ever started on Jones, I got a list of questions from Johnny Garrett. Johnny says, you're on the list that the speaker has to ask questions. Sat there through Jones, made notes. I went to Johnny and said, Johnny, can I go off script? Johnny says, yeah, go for it. Speaker never called him. We voted. I hit the green vote because that's what I'm there for. Then we get into the floor again. And immediately, the questions start coming up about the resolution. I know what she did. I know what she did, broke the rules. And I know that she deserves to be expelled. We got to do it right. And that wasn't right. While this is going on, Reader came to my desk and said, hey, you think we're doing good? I said, no. We haven't established the case. Gino's had 2 cracks at her, and the only thing he's established is that she stood at the well. That's it. It didn't fix any of the problems with the resolution. He didn't establish that she'd been here 10 years or 12 years and knew the rules better than the others did. Why were we still in session? Because we're in between bills. Why did you get gavelled out of order? Because the speaker had to get order. With disorderly conduct and caused chaos in this whole place. That line of questioning is exactly what I told the leader I needed to ask, because we don't have it right now. He didn't sit there and say, you need to vote yes anyway. He didn't quit my vote. He walked off. He didn't go to the speaker and tell the speaker to call on him. So if you're all going to come all at me and single me out, and only 3 of y'all call me this weekend to check on me, I'm going to defend myself. I told leadership what was going on. I told him I had problems. I had questions. I had a plan to fix it. When the question got called, I went to John here. I said, John, do we have the votes? He said, well, nobody else changes their vote. We should be fine. Why are you not going to vote yes? And I explained it. And I went back to my desk. And I sat there and had my internal debate on what to do. Then the bell rang. I'm concerned that I'm going to vote yes on a resolution that I know is wrong. We didn't establish that she did all that other stuff. All we established is she walked from there to there. As much as I hate to give John Ray any credit for anything, the smartest thing he said the whole season I've been up here. Darren Jernigan in the back of the room says, we can't vote on a resolution that's poorly drafted. And he's right. Ignore that we were screwing it up and put my name on something that I knew that was going to be in the annals of history as being wrong. No different than some Democrat is going to be on a jury for Donald Trump and vote to convict him even though they know that the vote is indictment. This resolution got copied and pasted. All they changed was the names. She didn't do the things that were in the resolution.
I said, oh, great, Mr. Speaker, have you on the list? You said, yes. Then I walked away your desk, never dreaming that you were voting no. I just thought you had some other questions that were going to build the case. And I didn't mean to like walk off without getting additional information. I didn't take it that you were filling oxygen at that time, but I knew you had some questions. I mean, to sign a letter, and then for the other 65 of us to all think it's the right thing, I get that you feel strong enough. I mean, at this point, do you feel strong that you did the right thing, or is there any party that feels bad about that the rest of us got hung out to dry?
1,000% I did the right thing. I went back and watched it again. I watched the video. Bottom line is, you went into that chamber, we had a slim vote count. You went into that chamber, you were a yes. And you straight up asked me, are you 100% where I am? And I said, I'm all three expelling no matter what. You said we're in the same spot. It hung us out to dry. One vote. And if Terry was here, I'd do the same thing to him.
We had the jury already. This obviously wasn't a trial, but I knew every single one of your vote counts. I knew that we did not have to convince you all. When you came up to me, about 2 minutes left of Gloria's final closing, and said we didn't do it, I was shocked. In my humble opinion, her, by moving from her desk to the well without decision, without being recognized, was enough for me to figure out how I was going to get off expulsion. So I was taken back. I was also taken back that you wanted to ask me questions, because that would have made a difference. It's going to take some time for all of us to digest your reasoning to Pearson. I wanted to tell him protesting from the middle of the well is a one-way conversation. No legislation in the history of the world has ever been passed under protest. It's always a two-way conversation. And that's been lost. And they reduced each and every one of us, including each and every one of our constituents, to sometimes a simple protest. And so that to me was paramount of what all three of them did by virtue of that simple walk from Gloria's desk to the middle of the well without that permission, really regardless of what the resolutions did say. I think we do understand how important we all are when a hot vote is like it was and then you change. Surprise is a difficult thing to deal with. There's gonna have to be, I think, some time before there's probably some trust reestablished. If I would have known that I had to convince you all, I think Gino, I think Farmer, I think others that we thought about that process would have been handled a whole lot differently. That's where the element of surprise has got to be removed.
Okay, I want to cover some stuff. You want to know what happens when you try to befriend the Democrats simply because people think you need to be friends with them? This kind of crap. Now you got to backtrack and try and damage control and argue with each other because I thought we had this, I thought we had that. Look, it's either right or it's wrong. The House rules say you can't do without permission certain things, and all three of them did something without permission. I don't care how far you went with bullhorns and everything else. You left your area that you shall not leave without permission from the speaker. She did that. And you're trying to tell me now, oh, well, I didn't do it because it wasn't a strong case with her as with the other two. No, you're trying to save face with the Democrats, bro. You're trying to save your rhino.
Them votes. And the thing is that, no matter how much people talk about, parties need to come together, we need to be united. Amongst the people, like say you was a Democrat and I was a freaking Republican, people, we can come to some type of agreement on most things. Most times we disagree. It's political. When it comes to politics, Democrats are always talking about extend the olive branch. Let's come across the aisle. But deep down, they don't want to. And then they do things like this. They pout, they protest until they get their way. And what ended up happening in Tennessee when they pouted and protested? And this isn't going to be the first time this happens. this was a test. You're going to see this across the country. Things like this. Oh, we don't get our way. We'll just do this. We'll break the rules, and they're going to have to.
Yeah. Yeah. And look, I've been saying you can't be friends with these people. Okay, Democrats are not there for us to be. Either you got voted in not by Democrats, you got voted in by people who call themselves either conservatives or Republicans, and your job is not to appease the Democrats.
That's right.
This cross the aisle BS has to stop. I'm not trying to appease you. If I wanted to put a Democrat in there, I would have voted for a stupid Democrat, but I didn't. I voted for you to do something for me.
That's right.
And if you want to go shake hands with the very people I don't want in my business, you shouldn't be in my business either. Expel all of them. All three of them need to be gone. Both the two Negroes with the funky hair and the overweight lady too. Both of them need to be gone. Because the point of it is this. If you ain't going to have at least some respect for the place that you work, have respect for the people you're supposed to represent.
You're right.
The shaking the hands and, I couldn't vote. I couldn't vote to kick her out because there wasn't enough there. What? Look, this leak call only proves one thing to me. I thought that at least at the beginning, maybe they have some nuts. They grew some cojones. They're going to actually do something and say, forget the Democrats. We don't want nothing to do with them. Friendship or not, cross the aisle, all of that's gone. No. Instead, you're in there arguing over that one fool or the two fools that dissented. Kick them out too. In fact, ostracize them as Republicans. Just ostracize them. You trying to make peace and figure out why and why. I don't care why, bro. You broke with us. You broke from us. We had a deal. You saw the same thing we saw. She did something out of character for the House floor. She should be expelled too. You gonna backtrack on that one because Democrats. To me, that's just, look, we have a bunch of these low-level lemmings that call themselves Republicans or conservatives, and they don't do anything to further any of the things we want done in this country. And you want to know why things are going the way they are? Is because of clowns like this. And I mean all of them, even the ones who say they should have voted right, and even the one that said he didn't vote right. All of them are clowns, and I'll tell you why. They have zero concern about why they're there and more concerned about who they have to please with their coworkers than they do us.
Yep. Trying to reserve their, and they're trying to reserve their spot. And that's just not just in Tennessee, like we said earlier, that's across the board, like Marlon said, across the board. And all of them need to be voted out. We keep putting people like these guys, no matter how much they mess up, and we complain about it, and we fight and we bicker amongst, conservative, families or whatever, but we keep voting them back in. And then we come back right here and we complain again about the person that we complained about before, but we voted them back in. It's time to get rid of them. Sometimes that old saying works, is the lesser of two evils. Hey, this guy didn't work out. I don't like this other guy too much, but let's see what he's about. Sometimes we have to make those choices and do that. You know what I mean? And these politicians, like you said, they don't care about us. They don't care about the constituents. They care about themselves. They care about their position. They care about their spot. That's it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a tough one, but we need to start really reading into these people that we check off next to. We really need to start looking at their history and looking at their past, so we know for a fact we're not voting in another rhino.
They mentioned something at the beginning about they need to pass that gun bill and they need to pass that pronoun bill. Now I'm going to have to go and look and see what the House Republicans are trying to push as a gun bill and a pronoun bill. Because now I'm concerned that they actually want to use the tragedy in Tennessee to side with the Democrats with a gun bill, and they want to side with this nonsensical appeasing of the LGBTQ weak, stupid people and pass a pronoun bill for people to follow. Now I'm concerned about that. After hearing this conversation, I can't trust any of them.
Yeah, imagine what they're doing behind closed doors right now. I mean, didn't Canada just pass a pronoun bill or something like that? They passed something recently. Canada did. So, it usually trickles downhill, If Canada did it, look, we're going to do it. They're always talking about other countries. Well, Australia banned guns, and look at this. Well, this country banned guns. Well, this country passed a pronoun bill. Maybe we can pass a pronoun bill. So it's just at the end of the day, people, pay attention. Vote for your best interest. I love my country. Marlon loves his country. But when I go to that voting booth, I'm voting for my interests. I don't care how patriotic you say you are. You're always voting for your interests first. How is this going to affect me and my family? And keep voting these clowns in like this. They don't care about your family
at all.
They don't.
Let them finish their stupid conversations.
All of a sudden, we had to convince the members after we had asked them so much where they were on this.
I've taken positions up here against leadership. If you believe Gloria's resolution was wrong, you have the right to file an amendment and go talk to leadership. I think the problem I'm having is if we don't stick together, if you don't believe we're at war for our republic, with all love and respect to you, you need a different job.
Ooh, okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad somebody said it. I am, okay. If that one guy stays, I'm good with that.
But that's the type of stuff that needs to be said in front of the camera.
Out loud.
For everyone to hear.
Out loud.
Not behind closed doors. I don't like you, Dan. If I was a congressman or one of these guys, if I didn't like the people over there, I would let it be known. I don't like you. I don't like what you stand for. I don't like the policies you're trying to push. I would let it be known to their face. And that's what needs to happen. This tap dancing around each other, trying to be kind and professional, don't work no more.
No, grow some nuts, man. Grow some nuts. Let them drop. Hit puberty for a change. That's something.
Hear that thud.
You behaving like a 3-year-old at this point.
That's right.
Let me see if they get any better.
Tennessee so bad because if they get us, the Southeast falls.
There you go.
Game over for the Republic. This is not a neighborhood social gathering. We are fighting for the Republic of our country right now. And the world is staring at us. Are we going to stand our ground? I've gotten multiple phone calls from other representatives going, we sure hope you guys stand up, because maybe you'll give us the courage to stand up and push back against what's going to destroy our republic. You should have told leadership ahead of time if you had a doubt. By God, when you change your mind, you should have been screaming in the speaker's ear going, I'm a no-vote, sir. How does that affect your vote? If Brian Terry was standing here, I would be telling Brian Terry, you should have went to the speaker and said, I'm changing my vote. And if it put us at 65, somebody would have taken you behind the dais and explained to you why this is an important vote. It would have given us the opportunity to not throw the rest of us under the bus. I've been called a racist, a misogynist, a white supremacist more in the last 2 months of my life than I had my entire life. By golly, I'm biting my tongue. But I'm telling you, Mr. Speaker, with all due respect, these days are very thin right now. And I'm going to have to swallow this to see Mr. Jones back up here walking these hallowed halls that the greats of Tennessee stood in and watch them disrespect this state that I chose to move to. And by golly, it's got to stop. I'm sorry for getting angry here. My father was D-Day +4, and he fought for this freaking country, and many of his friends died. You got to do what's right. Even if you think it might be wrong, you got to do what's right. And you got to protect this freaking republic here in Tennessee, or you know what? Let's all go to hell home. I'm getting freaking gray hair sitting here listening to this bullshit. I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm getting sick of this. Do the right thing for the people of Tennessee and we'll come out smelling like a rose. Fight for the people of Tennessee.
Thank you. Okay, what's his name? Let me get his name right. His name is, go back, what's his name?
You got to do what's right.
Sepiki. Okay, Sepiki, whatever your name is, you the man. When you get tired, when you get fed up, that's what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
We've been sitting in this room with these clowns for the last 60 years. These spineless, worthless, gutless politicians that say they are on the right. And they do nothing that we put them in there to do. Instead, you see them making backdoor deals with these moronic Democrats, these clowns, these hateful people that hate America, period. They hate you, they hate me, they hate themselves, they hate their own families. They're hateful people. Let's get this right. The Democrat Party is the party of Satan, right? The devil is their daddy, and all they want to do is murder children and change them sexually. That's all they want to do. They're perverted, disgusting people. And it's about time, if you believe something, stand up and say it. If you are a remotely close to anything that has to do with government, people listening to this, I hope you go home and get some traction devices and yank those two nuts out of your body and drop them and do something. Because he's not wrong. They're trying to take every state by state by state, and before too long, they won't need the stinking presidency to destroy this country. They won't need it.
Damn right. And you know, it's all about protecting the republic. If you listen to the way Democrats talk, they always talking. I say they speak in communism, right? An old communist tactic is calling everything a democracy. That is, they're telling you right now that they don't believe in the republic. They dislike the republic. So we're going to change the terminology and brainwash these people to think that we're a democracy. A democracy is tyranny by the majority, and that's what they want. So if we need more politicians like this gentleman, and Trump, of course, is the guy. Trump spoke just like this gentleman did at a different level and out loud. And everyone hated him for it. Just get out there and vote for the republic. Vote for what you want. Vote for your own self-interest also. But because that's always number one. But the republic needs to stay, because once the republic's gone, like he said, we're done. That's it. And you guys need to spread this message and talk to these young Gen Zs and talk to these young kids and let them know. Teach them the Constitution. Teach them the rights they have. This is going to shit, and I'm not going to allow it. Me personally, I don't know about y'all.
This is nonsense to me. But here's the thing: the more Republicans act like the one sitting down in the room just staying quiet, we're done.
Yep.
We need more to stand up like Sapiki there. If you don't, get out of the way and let us do what we got to do. If you're a rhino, either move out the way or go run you over. Like that's the mindset we got to have from here on out. Get in line, or we're running you over, just like the rest of the Democrats. And we're going to railroad you, get you out some way, hell or high water, we're kicking you out the way. Because here's the thing, it's my children that I'm looking after now. My time is done.
Yep.
I am banking now. All the hours I have left in life is banking for my kids, not for me. And it'll be a dark day in hell before or a cold day in hell before I let them do this. Just standing here and doing nothing. If all I can do is scream, I'm going to scream.
Yep.
But as far as we know, we can vote a lot of these stupid Republicans that have nothing to do with our benefit out of the way and just get rid of them. Kick them out of the job, because they're waste of space, just like the entire Democrat Party, a complete waste of human flesh. And we need to get rid of them.
And
Go ahead.
And you're exactly right. You know, we get it. The primaries are coming up. They're going to come around a lot faster than what we think. And a lot of times during the primaries, we only focus on the president. You need to start focusing on your local and all that. It starts at the bottom. It starts with council members, mayors, all those people. That's how it begins. And if you're voting the shittiest people in at the lowest level, if it's shitty low, it's shit up top usually in that state. So you need to focus on that and make sure you're voting in the right people and work your way up. Don't just focus on the presidency. We're going to get that. Focus on locally. I'm telling you, and you won't have stuff like this happen. You won't, because you were putting the right people in there with morals and balls and a backbone. That's what we want. We want backbone politicians in there that aren't afraid to tell somebody to eat a big bowl of you know what real fast.
And
that's
in a
why
hurry.
guys like me. That's why guys like me can't be a politician, because
in a hurry. We saw this and we figured we'd come out, drop it while it was hot, so you guys had the info. If you haven't subbed yet to the channel, I dropped the link in the comment section. If you're here on Fair Media, there's quite a lot of you, 108 of you. Go ahead, jump over. Even if you don't come over to YouTube to sign or in and watch, at least subscribe so we have the numbers. Subscribe over there and start sharing the YouTube videos to the people you want to see this. Okay, get the word out, because this kind of nonsense is going to end up, I hope there's more leaked elsewhere in other houses throughout the state, so we can find out who the real disgusting rhinos are and kick them out. So you guys, please like, share, subscribe if you haven't yet. The mix is up next. Don't miss that. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow with World War II. We are out of here. Peace.